Hello everyone and welcome to BFB but with TPOT style double eliminations. What I mean by TPOT style double eliminations is that both of the bottom two teams are up for elimination and each of them lose one member each. This is the exit where two contestants will be sent at a time. This is where the order of teams being up for elimination is going to be shown. And these are the teams. Eliminations that change will go in this middle box. We have no time to lose, so let's get started. Since nothing has actually changed yet, BFB 1 plays out as it normally would, so we can just select the bottom two teams. And those teams happen to be Iance and 8 Names. Iance's elimination goes the same way as it normally would, as again, nothing has changed yet. Safe or Bubble, Ruby, Snowball and Lightning, and Flower, Match, and Fanny. Pencil is once again the first boot since they still lose in the same way they did originally. Now it's 8 Names' turn. Like Iance, nothing changes. They simply fail to return a basket to X before a better name that did. Their running through lava and dying was all in vain, it seems. I could just use the BFB 15 votes, but that would be boring, not to mention inaccurate. Anyways, safe are Ice Cube, Teardrop, Book because she hadn't ruined her reputation yet, Saw, and Gatey. Taco's in the bottom 3 because she was kind of bossy in the episode and that turned people off from her at first, but nevertheless she would still be safe. Just like BFB 15, the bottom two are Dora and Lollipop. Lollipop is seen as rude, even more so this early on, which is probably why it took them so long to lose in canon. Needless to say, I think Lollipop would get out in a landslide. Given the events that followed, it's a crying shame too that the viewers wouldn't even give her a chance. Like BFB 2, I don't think things would change all that much. There would be one less trapped contestant, but also one more team up for elimination, that being the losers alongside Beep. Just like Iance's last episode, Beep still loses Leafy, as I don't see any reason events would play out any differently. Instead, we'll focus on the losers. They didn't get much screen time in the second episode, so it might be a bit tricky to deduce who would leave. However, I know it won't be Coiny, Pin, Needle, Fiery, or Cake, or Clock. In fact, I'd say the latter three are pretty much interchangeable with one another. Would you look at that? Loser and Eggy would be the bottom two. Loser's here because people would want to see how the contestants would react, while Eggy's here because she was kinda rude to Teardrop in episode 1, then didn't do much after that. However, just like in canon BFB 7, Eggy makes it out. Boring, I know, but this is probably the most logical outcome. This means that loser, fittingly, loses. BFB 3 once again plays out the same as the last two episodes. Maybe loser not being present might mean no daylight savings. But I still think they could have come up with the idea on their own, which means Team Ice Cube and 8 Names lose it. Surprise, surprise, Bracelety still leaves Team Ice Cube since, you guessed it, nothing happened that would change that. I apologize that this is kind of boring so far, I'm sure it'll change more later. Such as with our first repeat losers, 8 Names. Most of the team was jerkish to Taco and likely put the blame on her for their loss. The first ones safe are Taco herself, along with the ones who didn't blame her, or at least not on screen, Teardrop and Gady. Ice Cube and Saw also wouldn't get too many votes. Most of the votes would go to Book and Dora. Book because she's the one who suggested Taco abandon them, while Dora has an inherent disadvantage due to being a non-object. I think that due to that disadvantage, Book would narrowly make it out. This means Dora can go explore the exit. Too bad she'll be starved of her precious islands while she's there. BFB 4's challenge was to render 4. We need to take a moment to deduce who would lose this episode. We can do this by thinking about how each team won. We can immediately remove free food from contention since they haven't lost any members yet, so nothing would change. 8 names won because of Teardrop, so they still win as well. Iance, Beep, and Team Ice Cube have also not lost the same members as in canon, so again, no change. Since a better name than that placed above the losers, I guess this means we're doing the canon bottom 2 teams again. And once again, since nothing has changed as far as Death Pact is concerned, that means Lie is eliminated. Now for the losers, there isn't really an obvious choice as to who would go since once again they weren't at all relevant in BFB 4. I'll just have it be Eggy, I think, since she was bottom 2 last time. BFB 5 is another challenge that is entirely unaffected by team composition, especially when the bottom 2 teams are the same as canon. Yeah, I'm sorry guys, I really thought this elimination order would change more than it's ended up doing so far. Just like with the past canon teams having the same losers, it's still Robati who is the second contestant to leave unbeat. However, free food might finally shake things up somewhat. This is because at this point, Stapy isn't hated yet, as he hasn't cheated. So, him, Foldy, Marker, Eraser, Bell, and Fries are all safe, though outside of Fries, they're interchangeable. The bottom 2 are Puffball and Yellowface. Puffball hasn't done much since her elimination in BFDIA 5, while Yellowface has an inherent disadvantage as a non-object. It was a tough choice, but I think ultimately Puffball makes it out of this one. This makes Yellowface our 10th eliminated contestant. For BFB 6's challenge, loser not being present may mean they never hide under a basket so they would win, since they wouldn't let their guard down. So I think we finally found a time where the teams change. Since Taco caused Bell to get the Twinkle, a better name loses along with free food. Free food comes first. Safe are Foldy, Marker, Eraser, Stapy, and although Belle was the reason they lost, she would be safe too. The bottom 2 are Fries and Puffball. Puffball probably still hasn't been forgiven for BFDIA 5, not to mention that she did nothing in the episode. Well, Fries is just plain rude. Fries survives by a little bit, and Puffball is out. I'm just glad we're finally seeing some substantial time changes. Speaking of which... Well, look who actually lost. Funny how between these two teams, there's all but one member of Are You OK and all but two from the strongest team on Earth over in TPOT. Safe are Tennis Ball, Blocky, Grassy, Basketball, Robot Flower, and TV. The bottom two are the same as Ken and BFB 8. 8 Ball and Golf Ball. Fans of Golf Ball would most likely target him for elimination, which is most likely why he got out in canon. And personally, I think that holds true here. I don't have much more to say on that front. It's not like he'd be leaving on his favorite episode or anything. Last episode for part 1, and there's quite a few changes that would be made. First off, 8 names and a better name than that would have left the moon an episode early because of last episode's elimination. Loser would also have eliminated the normal way, so no liar ball. This also means Taco and various others stay alive, and the challenge is different as well. That said, I'm gonna take the easy way out and have the canon bottom 2 teams, a better name than that and 8 names, lose anyway. A shame that this team had to lose twice in a row, but that's just how these things go sometimes, I'm afraid. Safe are Tennis Ball, Blocky, Grassy, Basketball, and Robot Flower. Simply put, I feel like fans of the balls would go after TV as their next target since so many other characters, he never really did much in pre-split. I don't think I need to elaborate on my golf balls down here again. Like last episode, that plan would work. So TV's the second contestant to leave a better name than that. Teardrop would be the first one safe on 8 names. Followed by Taco since she was the MVP of the previous episode. Saw is next in line. And finally Ice Cube. Our bottom 2 is a classic. Booked vs. Gady or disliked vs. irrelevant. Which of them leaves? In Vote to Eliminate, I think irrelevant characters are less likely to get the boot than disliked ones. Not that Book's all that strong in Vote to Save either. But right now, at the height of the Taco abandoned us charade, she's a goner. Thanks for watching. Part 2 releases soon, so make sure to subscribe with notifications on.